Duet Night Abyss is trash. Or is it? Welcome to another episode of Trash Games Tuesday. Today, we're talking about Duet Night Abyss. If you end up enjoying the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because mostly every Tuesday, we do a video exactly like this on some new free game. Also, you can join the Discord down in the description. For those of you new here, this is more of a review series as opposed to me just trashing on the game. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons based on my first impressions of about 5 hours of gameplay. This is a game I was very excited to talk about. It came into my kind of perception a long time ago, earlier this year, when a couple of my viewers were asking me, are you going to play Duet Night Abyss when it comes out? And my response at the time was, well, sure thing, good sir, because there's nothing I love more than playing a game my fans recommend, and that's the truth. And then, I forgot about it. I forgot about it until the other day, I was streaming The Outer Worlds 2, and suddenly, a chatter shows up. You checking out Duet Night Abyss, he says. I'm like, oh, sure, I remember that game. When's it come out? Today. Oh. Alright, well, I downloaded it, I played it over the weekend, and here we are. It's Tuesday, so what did I think of Duet Night Abyss? Well, you know, the people really weren't joking when they said this is anime girl Warframe. There are a lot of similarities, to say the least, and I have a lot to say about this one. I'm just going to talk about all the things I noticed in order. First of all, this game looks almost exactly like Genshin Impact. You got a character selector, and boom, you're in. Of course, I choose the male. I name him after myself, because that's what guys do. Most of the time, anyway. One thing that's really different about this game that I really like is that the MC has a voice. I can't remember the last time I saw this in one of these kind of Genshin-esque games. I don't know if I've ever seen it. Also, everyone's British, which is, you know, kind of funny. I hope my character brought his stab vest. And then you get into the combat and the movement, and this is definitely a lot more sword-based than Warframe. The movement is smooth, but it honestly feels kind of choppy. It's not nearly as fluent as Warframe's movement. It feels like it's trying to copy the movement in Warframe without fully understanding what makes it good. For example, you've got sliding and bullet jumping and all this stuff, but none of these movements keep your momentum. Like when you bullet jump, you hit the ground and you're going normal speed again. So it feels a little bit disjointed. It feels like a very uninformed copy. And in the combat, you know, sword is left click, and if you want to pull out your gun, it's right click, but you just start shooting immediately. If there's a way to just pull your gun out and have it idle, I did not find it. So it's very sword-centric. The main character is literally just Excalibur. He's got, you know, radiant... It's been a while since I've played Warframe, so I can't remember. Basically, he could slash and kind of send out, you know, projectiles. It's the exact same idea. But the prologue of this game is pretty well made. And then you get done the prologue and... oh my god, it's Paimon. It's fucking Paimon. There's a Paimon in this game. I hate games that have a Paimon. That's immediately like 10 points for me. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. But you get into the city, you do a couple of preliminary quests, and that's when all of the facets of this game reveal themselves to you. I was under the impression that this game had character gacha. It does not. The gacha is just for cosmetics. There's also a battle pass. There's also an event screen with way too much shit on it. It has all the stuff that's in all these other gacha games. You know, the daily quests, the gacha, the battle pass. It follows the formula exactly, but it does differ in some very noteworthy ways that I think makes this game a lot better than the other gachas. First, as I said, there's no character gacha. That's great. Second, as far as I can tell, there's no restriction on how much grinding you can do in a day. Nothing is time gated. There didn't seem to be any energy system unless if I was completely blind. And the fact that there's no stamina system means that you can just grind endlessly. You can just grind all the materials you want. You can grind levels constantly. And for me, that increases the fun factor like tenfold. I would love games like Genshin or like ZZZ so much more if I could just hop on and grind however the fuck much I wanted to on any day. You know what I'm saying? Here, you need level up materials, grind to your heart's content. You need character materials, grind to your heart's content. You can just grind. It really follows the spirit of Warframe in this way. And if you want to unlock new characters, it's kind of similar to how you unlock new frames. You have to get these things called special letters, and then you go in, you do the mission, and there's like a drop chance. Now, from my experience, you don't have to wait to unlock characters, but you do have to wait to forge stuff like weapons. Weapons also aren't gacha. There's an artifact system here like you're familiar with, but they function in a way much more similar to mods in Warframe. That is, you have a certain like limit, they each take up a certain amount of points, and a weapon and a character, can only hold so many points. And as you upgrade the mods, they take up more slots, etc. If you're familiar with Warframe, you know what I'm talking about. That's how it works here. You can grind specifically for the mods, get your builds perfect, so that's nice. And the thing I'll say, the biggest compliment I can give to this game is that I just think they've got it right in this department. They wanted to emulate Warframe, and at some point they decided that Warframe couldn't be emulated if they had a stamina system and character gacha, and they were 100% right in that decision. This game is playable and it's addictive because of these features, because of the endless grind. So for true grinders, people who love Warframe, people who love Destiny back in the day, this game, you're going to like it. You're going to feel right at home. Now let me tell you about some of the bad things. First things first, this is something I've mentioned in so many reviews, but it is absolutely a prevailing problem. This game has an extremely severe case of Asian menu syndrome. As a matter of fact, I would say this is the worst Asian menu syndrome I have ever seen in a gacha game. It is really that bad. For those of you who don't know, Asian menu syndrome is this phenomena that I seem to notice in a lot of Asian games where the menus just have way too much going on and are extremely difficult to navigate. Here, I don't know where anything is. It's so big, there's so much stuff, a lot of it seems useless. And it's only worse with all the facets of, Warframe-esque grinding and mods and all that shit fit in there. Warframe, I feel like its UI is pretty streamlined, to be honest, and it makes me appreciate it all the more looking at this and comparing it to Warframe and how kind of easy it is to navigate Warframe and how much there is going on here. I'm like, Warframe, goddamn, I appreciate you. It seems like everything that's gone into Duet Night Abyss is good. There's lots of effort. The cutscenes are good. There's actual voice acting. The designs are pretty top notch. The music is good. The world design is pretty good. The quests are enjoyable enough. The combat, although it feels a little bit janky and it's definitely way too easy, it's pretty good. But obviously there's one main problem that this game faces, and I don't understand why no one's really mentioning it. That problem is that there's no reason to play this over Warframe. Like, no reason. Especially if you've never played either. Duet Night Abyss is like Warframe for gooners, and Warframe is already for gooners. It's like Warframe with gambling, but Warframe already has gambling. I think what makes Warframe so special is the fact that you can become rich just by pulling your bootstraps. You could find rare loot and you could sell it and you can make thousands of the premium currency just by playing the game. That's completely absent in Duet Night Abyss. As far as I could see, there is no trading. There's no prime equivalent. It's very Chinese in this way. It's built so that you're still going to have to pay for stuff, and you can't rely on other players to give you any of that. And ultimately, that's the biggest spot it loses to Warframe. There's no sense of community. It's very much a solo grind. You can play with your friends if you want, but it hardly matters. Warframe just has all those extra features. It goes that extra mile to make sure that it's possible and it's rewarding to be a free-to-play if you're good at the game and if you have the knowledge and you know what to do. And for that reason, I say again that there's no reason to play this over Warframe. Warframe gives you everything that this game can't. It has smooth combat, it has smooth movements that's been polished over so many years. It's got an unbelievable amount of areas, a ridiculous amount of quests. It's got a shit ton of characters, it's got a shit ton of weapons, it's got a modding system that'll keep you satisfied as you see those numbers climb into the millions. It's got premium currency that you can own just by playing for free. It's got places you could see other players and, ways to actually cohesively work with them. And most of all, it's very Gooner friendly. But Duet Night Abyss, I gotta say, I enjoyed my time playing this. I'll probably be playing more. I like it. I think it's good. I think with a bit of work, if they remove the jank and, continue to support it and add more features, I actually think this is a good game, and I think this is probably one of the most fair gacha games I've ever played, because the gacha actually, genuinely, seems completely optional here. You don't really need to do it at all. So no, Duet Night Abyss is not trash. It's a good game, it's well made, and I like the design philosophy, and I feel like they emulated Warframe in all of the right ways. However, as I said, there's no reason to play this over Warframe at all. And that's my thought process on Duet Night Abyss. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Drop a like, comment down below what you want me to do next, and all that good stuff. I'll see you next time. Ciao.